Hi, welcome back. My name is Ari and today we are going to do my August haul. I didn't buy that much in August, but I did buy things. So let's get into it. I purchased all of these books from Better World Books, which is a used bookstore. They may have new books, but these are all definitely used. And whenever you purchase a book, not only do you purchase a book for yourself, but you purchase a book for somebody in need. So, not only are you getting books for fairly cheap, used books for fairly cheap, you also support something. And why not? So, a couple of these are library copies. It doesn't really tell you that they're library copies, which is one thing that I don't like about Better World Books. I prefer thrift books because you don't get library copies, but sometimes you deal with what you get. The first two are books that I've already read, but I wanted physical copies of them because I enjoyed them so much. And that is Ugly's Shay's Story and Ugly's Cutters by Scott Westerfield. These are both graphic novels. This one is a library copy, if you can see up here. This one is also a library copy, apparently, just a different kind of library, but yeah, both of them are library copies. This one feels like this one's laminated and this one's not. And you can probably tell that this one's a lot more shiny than this one. But yeah, these are both graphic novels, black and white graphic novels. I've read both of these as ebooks, and I like Scott Westerfield's Pretties universe and wanted to own both of these as physical books since I've read them as ebooks. That was the entire purpose of buying them, is I just wanted to complete my collection of Scott Westerfield Pretties universe. Next up is a book that I've wanted to read for a while but never really got around to it, and that is The Mist of Avalon by Marion Zimmer Bradley. This is King Arthur, and it's a very chunky one. This copy is I don't know if you can tell, but it's wavy right here, and I don't know if it's got a little bit of water damage or what happened. I just know it's an Arthurian tale. That's all I really know, and that it's been around for a while and is really popular and I want to read it. So, Mist of Avalon, I'm not going to read this anytime soon. I'll probably read it next year, but it was on sale for really cheap, so I figured, why the hell not? Grab it. Next up is another library copy, and this is a novella. This is The Perfect Shadow by Brent Weeks. This is part of his Night Angel trilogy. Well, this isn't part of the trilogy. This is a prequel to the Night Angel trilogy. I have the trilogy as ebooks, and I've read all of them. I want to do a reread on them soon, so I grabbed the prequel little novella. It's a tiny little thing, and then figure I can read this and then reread the series. And then the last book I got was also a library copy. It looks like everything except for The Mist of Avalon in this haul, or this portion of the haul, is a library copy. But this is The Buried Giant by Kazuo Ishiguro. This is an author where I have read Never Let Me Go by him, and I loved it, so I just kind of wanted to grab a couple of other books by him. I am, for the 1980s, reading The Remains of the Day by Kazuo Ishiguro, so this is just another one of his works that I don't really have a purpose of reading, but went ahead and grabbed it because it was, again, on sale. And the final book that I purchased for myself is not from Better World Books. This is from Amazon. It's a new release, and that is How to Argue with a Racist by Adam Rutherford. This is a non-fiction, fairly short little novel that basically I assume tells you how to argue with a racist. It's basically about like racist pseudoscience and like the excuses that people will go to about saying something like, oh, I'm not racist, that's just how insert race here are. It's scientific, and it's not, it's racist. And that's what this is about. So very interested to read this. I've been trying to do at least one nonfiction story every month that deals with like harsh realities. Most of what I've been reading is race, but I also do like gender, feminism, different things like that. But this is just another one to add to my collection. Next up, why don't we unbox my SIPSBY box for the month. Last month, just to go through it really quickly, I had a vanilla oolong grape Moringa energy tea, and that was very meh. It was okay. It smelled really weird. It didn't taste bad, but it wasn't like my favorite. I had a cranberry blood orange black tea, which was amazing. I went through those so fast. They were so good. I want to reorder them. They were delicious. Then I had the olive Indigo's color changing tea, which I never actually got a citrus fruit to see if it changed colors, but if you just brew it, it's blue, which is really awesome just to have blue tea. But apparently if you put citrus in it, it'll turn, I'm gonna assume green, because if color theory, if you put a yellow juice into a blue tea, it should turn green. But yeah, I never tried that. I don't particularly care for citrus in my tea. At least not that kind of tea. That was a very sweet, perfumey tea. It was delicious, no matter what color it was. And then the final one was an organic Asam black tea, and I never even opened it. I have so many leftover teas, and it was been really too hot to drink a lot of black teas that I just never got around to trying that one. But it's a very standard oolong tea, so this month's box. So September, the first thing I've got in here is a raspberry pomegranate green tea. Just 4 little tea bags by Ahmed Teas. I get a lot of these. It's very straightforward. It's raspberry pomegranate green tea. Like, I don't know what else you need from that. The next one is a French breakfast black tea from Churchill's Fine Tea. I'm excited about this. This is my second French breakfast tea that I've gotten out of this subscription bag, and the last one that I got was delicious. This one, I don't see the lavender bits in it. I wonder if it has lavender bits. This one doesn't have lavender bits in it, so I don't know. The last one, I thought French breakfast tea had lavender in it, because the last one I got that was a French breakfast tea had lavender. This one doesn't, so something new to try. Next, I have got Akshar Organic Herbal Tea Morning Star. And this is a caffeine-free herbal tea with moringa and lemongrass. So not super thrilled about that, but it might be good. And then the final one is Asheville Gray from Asheville Tea Company. I wonder if this is Asheville, North Carolina. Yes, it is. Asheville Tea Company blends craft teas featuring farms from Teacup Botanicals, highlighted in the full flavors of Southern Appalachia. So this is black tea, calendula flowers, and bergamot, which sounds delicious. I used to go to Asheville all the time. I used to live nearby there, which is why I recognized it. So I'm excited about this month. I don't have anything particularly flowery, which is usually my favorite kind of teas, but I'm not mad with what I got, and all of the discounts for both this month and last month will be down in the description box below if you were interested in purchasing any of these teas. And the last section is going to be the subscription box books that I got. The first two that I'm going to go over have already been featured in other videos, but I will quickly go over them in my Coffee and the Classic box for July because Coffee and the Classic comes at the very end of the month, so I always get it a month late. So Coffee and the Classic for July, I got Sherlock Holmes, and this is a really cool cover design, everything like that. This is awesome. It's gorgeous. I'm getting so many gorgeous books to decorate my shelf from Coffee and the Classics that I'm like running out of room to like face them all forward and just look pretty. The other book that I got from my Unplugged book box is Four Seasons at Angelino's, which is like a romance about a girl who sucks at dating, I guess. This is not for me, but it probably is for a whole lot of people who are not me and like tropey romance like this. Next up, I signed up for a new to me book box called Brilliant Books Monthly, and I signed up for 6 months of adult books that are paperbacks. And how they do it is like I had a video about it that I will link up in the cards. I fill out a little card and basically say these are the type of books I'm interested, and then they hand pick a book for me each month. This month, they did such a fantastic job that I already own 3 copies of the book that they sent me, which is Gideon the Ninth by Tamsin Muir. This is one of my 5-star reads of the year. Fantastic book. I highly recommend it. So they send a letter with this, and in the letter they tell me that if I don't like a book or if I have a problem with a book, just to contact them, and they'll send me like a prepaid package. I send it back, and then they'll send me a replacement book. The final thing I've got in here is my Book of the Month Club box, and this is a thick boy. I think I ordered a second book, maybe? I don't remember. I'm just gonna assume that I ordered a second book with how thick this box is. I am 90% sure I ordered the science fiction book, or I picked the science fiction book as my Book of the Month Club book this month. So let's find out. Oh, so first thing in here is a tote bag that I got for being a Book of the Month Club BFF. So I've got a bookmark here that tells me I'm a BFF, and then the tote bag, which is a really nice tote bag. Like, this is exactly the kind of tote bag that I want, with the flat bottom, and then it's got like a book pocket that will perfectly fit your Book of the Month book. You get this for like subscribing to Book of the Month for like 13 months, I think, so I've been getting Book of the Month for a while, and that's what that's for. I did not realize that was coming. And then the book that I picked was The Space Between Worlds by Micah Johnson. This is the sci-fi book in the box that I was thinking about. This is a debut novel, and it's about like multiverse travel. So people can travel to a different universe, but only if you're like yourself in that other universe is dead already. So you can't travel to a universe where you're still alive. And from my understanding, the main character has been selected to do a lot of this interdimensional travel because most of her selves are dead in other universes. And I believe there is a very interesting discussion in this novel about why she's dead in so many universes, and it has a lot to do with the fact that she is a woman of color and she is forced to live in a much higher risk areas in a more violent society because of her skin color. And so it's sci-fi plus like relevant racial stuff, which makes me happy. Definitely things that I want to read. Well, I mean, racism doesn't make me happy, but talking about important issues like racism in science fiction or fantasy is definitely something that I want to read. So that's why I grabbed this one. I don't know when I'm gonna get to it, but I am excited for it. And I did order a second book. This is something that I've already read earlier this year, and I enjoyed it so much that I wanted my own copy of it, and so I got it for fairly cheap off of Book of the Month, and that is A Woman Is No Man by Etaf Rum. This is about immigrants, women who have immigrated from the Middle East, from Palestine to Brooklyn, New York. And it covers at least two, maybe three generations of women, and being women in a society where women are just completely and utterly powerless, and how you can be in a huge city like Brooklyn but still feel entirely alone in your own home, in your community, and feel like there's no escape from situations like domestic violence and abuse and different things like that. So this was fantastic. I read this earlier this year. I highly recommend that everybody read this, and I definitely want to reread it, so I wanted my own copy. And that's everything this month. It's not too bad of a haul. I didn't spend that much money, so I'm kind of proud of myself. I mostly held off for next month as well, I think. Let me know what you think about what I bought, if I should prioritize reading any of these things, if there are other books that you think I should be purchasing that I haven't gotten around to yet. Leave your comments down below, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.